How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst. Today I'm going to talk to you about my controller settings, my camera settings, and the heavily requested net settings. If you ever watched any of my videos and any of my gameplay, you'll notice that my nets may look a little bit different to yours. You lot seem to want to know, how do I do that? So that's what we're going to go and do today. We're going to go through and show you exactly what I am running, why am I running it, and explain everything in detail for you. So what you need to do is you need to load up FIFA. You need to go onto your home screen, right? It looks like this. We go over to customize, and we're going to start off with just general settings in here. And then we're going to go with our controller settings first, the camera, and the net settings will be with you in just a second, all right? So I have done one of these before, but I have changed a few things actually since we've done these. The last kind of controller video that we did was back in November time, and we've changed a couple of things up. So timed finishing, let's talk about this first of all. I have this on. Do I use timed finishing a lot? No. I have this on for the ability. I haven't tested, but I believe if I turn it off, it won't allow me to time finish on penalties. I like to try and time my penalties to get the green, to try and make them go top bins, which is always good. However, for a lot of people, you can turn this off. To be honest, time finishing isn't something that I suggest in game. The risk isn't really worth it for the reward. It's a high risk. Obviously, you do get a good reward from it if it nails off, but it's risky. You know, the way they are this year is not very good. So I don't tend to use it at all as a general sort of rule. For the second defender switch icon, I have this as off. The reason for this is because when I have it on, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it confuses me. The way FIFA is and how quick the ball moves and everything that's going on, when I see two kind of switch icons, sometimes I don't realise who I'm controlling and who I'm not controlling and who's the other kind of second defender switch icon. So I have it off on my game. What does it actually do? It basically means that when you're controlling one player, when you're defending, when you have it on, there'll be another little icon over the next player where if you tap L1 or LB, it will switch to that player that has got the icon over his head. So it is a useful feature, but for me, mind blown. So I don't use it, to be honest with you. If you do enjoy the video, by the way, please let me know by dropping a like and also subscribe to the channel. Do upload every day at 5 PM. You can also check out our Twitch link, which is down below in the comment section where we do stream every single day as well. Pass block assistance, do we have this on or off? We obviously have this on. We all know how strong the AI interceptions can be at times. It's always best having this as on. Do not have it as off. It is not worth that occasional chance where one of your players sticks out a leg, they didn't need to, and they get caught out of position. It's just not worth it. It's better to have that on and just take it with a pinch of salt when that does happen. Auto switching, air balls and loose balls is what I go for. You can go for manual, but I don't really like that because when they're whipping a cross in or when the ball's up in the air, you've got to try and change play yourself. Not very good, and you definitely don't want this on auto. The reason why we want auto switching on air balls and loose balls is because predominantly it's down to you to switch then as the player. Again, what do we use? We use the right stick and we use L1 as well. If you haven't seen our right stick switching video, I'd highly recommend watching that. If I remember, I'll put a link up above. If not, just type in FIFA Analyst how to right stick switch and that will come up for you on YouTube. Auto switch move assistance, none, low or high are your options. I go for none. I used to go for low on this. What does this actually do? Imagine you've got, you're controlling your centre back. Now you're controlling your centre mid. The guy's playing a through ball in behind to your centre back. You need to switch from your centre mid to your centre back, and your centre back at the minute is running towards the goal. Now, if he's running towards the goal and your analog stick, let's say, was facing the opposite direction to the way that you're meant to be running, and you have this on high, that won't matter. The game will carry on running back towards the goal if that was the way that the player was already running. If it's on low, it will do that, but it won't do it for such as a long period. High won't give you control of the player straight away. It takes a good second or so. I don't like high. Low is good because it will control the player for the next half a second, and then it's all down to you. So if you were facing the wrong way with the analog stick, it doesn't matter so much. I go with none on this. The reason for it is, all due respect, a lot of you guys, you might not be as good as defenders, so sometimes you may have your analog stick facing the wrong way, and that can catch you out of position. I would recommend trying between both though, seeing which one you prefer, seeing which one you enjoy and what suits you better. But high is a no-go, low or none here is king. Now jockey, what does this do? Jockeying, there will be no speed or directional assistance when you have it on manual. When you have it on assisted, the jockey will be assisted to help you stay close to your opponent, but there is no directional assistance. So to to me, that means that the speed is going to be, helped to kind of stay in and around that player. I used to run manual, I used to run assisted, then I ran manual, then I run assisted, and I've gone back to manual. Manual is just better for me. I feel like I have more control of the player. I can move around a little bit freer. I don't really have the computer taking control. I don't feel like I'm constantly battling with the AI, is probably the best way to explain it. Have a little personal preference. I don't think there is a winner here. I think this is down to you as a player and what you prefer. For me, I prefer having control over my players and not letting the AI do as much for me. Right stick switching, player relative or ball relative. So this is if you want to switch with the right stick, where's it going to do it? If it's player relative, if you're controlling with your left CDM and you want to go to your right CDM, if you flick up, that will change to the right CDM as a general rule. Ball relative means that it will change, where you actually flick the analog stick is based on where the ball is, which to me confuses me. Neil Guides, one of the other YouTubers, he says that when games are delayed, having it on ball relative is much better. So he has gone to ball relative and hasn't looked back since. To me, it confuses the life out of me. I'll go with ball relative. Everything else is on assisted, apart from lob pass assistance, which is manual. Lob pass assistance is going to be only through balls over the top. If you're going to use square to kind of do that, lob pass assistance on manual is definitely king. Everything else you want on assisted, to be honest with you. I do have my crosses on a semi. I think this is the default option, if I remember correctly. You choose the right power, but cross direction will be assisted to the front or back post areas. And then when it comes to analog sprint, I have this on off again. So this is another point to touch on. A lot of you guys will probably have this on because it is the default setting. Analog sprint, when it's on, it means that if you tap the sprint button, your player will basically not sprint fully. He will sprint slightly. If you put the sprint button all the way down, they then get to a sprint. When you have it off, it means that how much pressure you put on this analog stick, whether you tap it or put it all the way down, doesn't make a difference. And what that means for me is that if I'm only tapping the analog stick, they get to full speed, which is what I want. If I'm going to touch that sprint button, I want them getting up to full speed. I don't want them half-heart sprinting. Some people say, yeah, but there might be cases where you don't want to sprint and you want a half sprint. That's why I tap it. It makes it better for me, works better. Defending doesn't matter because that's only on offline mode. Pass receiver lock, I used to go for late on this. I go for early now. The pass receiver is locked early at the time when the kicking animation begins. What it means is when you pass a ball from another player to another. Do you know when sometimes you pass a ball and the player's miles behind? This can kind of stop that. It switches to him early, which means you can hopefully move that player back to not lose possession of the ball. Hope that makes sense. In terms of everything else, everything is the same on there. There's nothing different for me. In terms of controller settings, I use circle to shoot, X to pass, all that sort of thing as well. Now let's go ahead and look at the camera settings. A lot of you don't believe me when I tell you this, but I run Telebroadcast Custom 17.3. It's as simple as that. What it does is it gives me a good overview of the pitch. I can see right close up, so I can see the close, little, tight animations that I need to see. But I'm not too far out that it's zoomed out. Now, you do have the option of running co-op as a camera angle here. If I do run co-op, I run co-op and then I run camera height 20 and I run camera zoom 10. I will mix between co-op and telebroadcast. Telebroadcast is my go-to sort of camera, just because I prefer the zoomer in. But if I'm looking at trying to play a possession style game like mad, co-op will definitely do that for me. So that's why I go ahead and run co-op on the odd occasion. But yeah, as a whole for me, it is Telebroadcast 17. I'm going to change that back. 17.3 is what I run there. Okay, so you need to go into custom because the default is 1010 and it is Telebroadcast that we run. So now, the absolute key thing, I do change my player indicator to large, by the way, instead of small. No difference, just easier for me to see. One of my coaching students actually told me you could do that. I didn't know you could do that, but it was one of them that pointed that out for me. And then in terms of the key thing that you boys are absolutely loving and enjoying is the net settings. Okay, my nets look different to yours. How do I do that? You go to visual, you scroll all the way down. My net tension is tight. My net shape is triangle and my net meshing is hexagon. So what does that do? It gives me the look that I have in Ultimate Team, okay? There's no difference. This doesn't give you an edge. Some people say, does it do something for goals? No, you won't get more wins. You won't get anything. It just looks better than the default nets, in my honest opinion. That's all it is, guys. There's not really much else to it. It just, that is what I run, okay? Don't ask me why. I just think it looks a little bit better. It is a little bit cooler, and it's kind of where I go to on that. So that is pretty much all of it. That is my controller settings, that is my camera settings, and that is my net settings. Don't look into them too deeply, guys. Just have a little tinkle, see what you like. Don't take everything for, oh, Alex runs that, you know, I must run that as well. It is what you prefer. It is what works for you. So just have a little play around. You know, you might enjoy the second defender switch icon on, you might not. It's all personal preference at the end of the day. But just make sure that pass block assistance is on, because a few of you say that, oh, don't always my players don't intercept the balls. That could be one of the reasons why, actually, quite magically. So that is going to be the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy, please let me know by dropping a like. As I said, you can subscribe to the channel as well. Would be greatly appreciated. If you are interested, we do have a Discord server where you can join fellow like-minded FIFA players, have a chat with them, arrange friendly, speak to me, all that good stuff as well. Indeed, a link to that is in the description below. Thank you all very much for watching this one, and I will catch you guys tomorrow, 5 PM UK time, for our next video. Bye-bye.